Briasia Johnson wasn't living a risky life. She was 29, a mother of three, pregnant with her fourth, employed, organized, predictable. Her days followed routines, school drop-offs, work, familiar routes home. No threats, no warnings, no chaos. That's what makes this case dangerous to understand. Because when she was shot on a Texas highway, nothing had gone wrong that day. No argument, no pursuit, no mistake. The violence didn't interrupt disorder. It hid inside routine.
Words of honor now from the mother of a pregnant woman killed in a roadway shooting in Arlington. Police are still looking for the shooter right now, and the victim's family, they want justice. They spoke with our Marvin Hurst about her life, death, and her children.
Bre'Asia Johnson was mother to four: 7-year-old Makai, 6-year-old Meadow, 2-year-old Maverick, and she was 5 months pregnant with another son, her family says.
I just want people to remember who she was as a person, the type of person that she was. I mean, to be honest, not many people would do what she did for somebody's kids who weren't hers. I don't want her to be.
Bre'Asia Johnson was 29 years old at the time of her death. She lived in the Arlington, Texas area, a suburban environment defined by predictability, not isolated, not transient, not chaotic. Her life followed a structured rhythm shaped by responsibility, parenting, employment, daily domestic routines. Nothing about her background suggested instability or imminent danger. She was the mother of 3 children and pregnant with her fourth. Her days revolved around logistics most people would recognize: school drop-offs, meals, appointments, transportation, time at home. Those close to her described her life as busy but organized, functional, grounded, predictable rather than chaotic. Pregnancy added another layer of routine: prenatal care, medical monitoring, planning. There were no public records of complications, no indication that her pregnancy had disrupted her normal activities in any significant way. She was employed and financially independent. Her work history reflected consistency, not reliance. Bills were paid, housing was stable, there were no eviction notices, no financial crises, no sudden job loss. From the outside, everything worked, and that stability matters. Because in many targeted crimes, chaos is absent. Stability becomes camouflage. Risk doesn't come from desperation or disorder. It comes from proximity, from relationships, from conflicts that exist quietly, out of view. Nothing in Bre'Asia's public life signaled imminent danger. Her social environment was ordinary: family, close friends, regular community interactions. She was not socially isolated. She did not disappear from people's lives. She maintained contact. Her digital footprint reflected the same normalcy: family-related posts, routine interactions, no public disputes, no online threats, no visible conflict playing out in public. Later, investigators would examine her communication history in detail: calls, messages, timestamps. At first glance, nothing stood out. Her communication volume remained consistent with prior weeks. No sudden silence, no mass deletions, no frantic outreach, only subtle shifts, noticeable only in hindsight. Conversations became more functional, less social, more logistical, coordination instead of connection. Not alarming on its own, but relevant later. There were no documented changes in residence, no employment disruptions, no changes in childcare arrangements. When routines remain intact, threats often remain invisible. At the time of the shooting, Bre'Asia was in an established romantic relationship. It wasn't casual. It wasn't new. It intersected with her daily life. Investigators later identified disputes involving an outside party connected to that relationship. These disputes were not public. They were not ongoing at the time of the shooting, at least not visibly. Some appeared to have cooled or been deprioritized. That mattered, because when conflict slows instead of escalating, it's often mentally categorized as resolved. Warning signs fade into background noise. There were no restraining orders, no emergency calls, no police reports filed by Bre'Asia in the immediate period prior. That absence did not indicate safety. It indicated that the conflict never crossed a threshold that triggered formal intervention. Interpersonal tensions do not always escalate in straight lines. They pause. They go dormant. And when they resurface, they often do so without warning, in environments unrelated to the original dispute. In this case, unresolved variables existed beneath the surface. In the final week before the incident, her movements followed expected patterns. Family responsibilities, work, routine communication, no erratic behavior, no sudden travel, no unexplained absences. Investigators later reviewed call logs, message timestamps, and location data. Several interactions would become relevant only because of who they involved, not because they appeared urgent at the time. No legal proceedings were pending, no financial disputes, no emergency services were contacted. From the outside, the week passed quietly. That ordinariness mattered, because planning hides best inside routine. On the day of the shooting, nothing appeared unusual. Morning and afternoon hours were spent doing what she always did. She communicated with family members. She visited familiar locations. Any changes to her schedule were minor, logistical, not strategic. Digital records later showed no indication that she believed she was being followed. Her presence on the highway was not spontaneous. It was the result of normal scheduling decisions. The location was not chosen because it was dangerous. It was chosen because it was convenient. When the violence occurred, it didn't interrupt chaos. It intersected with routine. In the immediate aftermath, law enforcement faced a fragmented crime scene. Highway shootings don't happen in one contained space. They stretch across locations: the shooting zone, the exit point, the emergency response area. Traffic continued moving. Evidence faced exposure. Time worked against investigators. Officers marked approximate shooting locations using witness accounts, shell casings, and vehicle damage patterns. Nearby ramps, service roads, and intersections were canvassed. The victim's vehicle became central. Once secured, it was transported for detailed examination. Entry points, exit points, glass fracture patterns, bullet trajectories. Inside the vehicle, seating positions and bloodstain distribution helped determine firing direction and sequence. Survivors were interviewed as soon as medically possible. These interviews weren't conversational. They were structured, focused on timelines, vehicle positioning, surrounding traffic. Questions were asked repeatedly about prior disputes, recent confrontations, anyone who might have followed them. Early answers were incomplete. Shock limits awareness, but baseline statements were established. Public statements were cautious. Details were withheld deliberately. Investigators were protecting the case. Initial theories followed standard procedure. Road rage was considered, then weakened. There were no aggressive driving reports, no confrontation beforehand. Shot placement suggested control, not impulse. Random gunfire was examined, then dismissed. The precision and alignment ruled it out. Patterns began to emerge. This was targeted. The location allowed approach, execution, and escape within seconds. Details about relationships and disputes were withheld. Silence wasn't avoidance. It was strategy. As the investigation progressed, two forms of evidence reshaped the case. Physical, digital. Shell casings confirmed a single weapon. Controlled firing, ballistic consistency, trajectory analysis established alignment with the victim's vehicle over time. Cell phone location data revealed proximity patterns, devices appearing near the victim before and during the incident. Some communications stopped abruptly afterward. Traffic cameras and license plate readers confirmed repeated vehicle presence along the victim's route. When timelines aligned, shots fired, location pings, surveillance footage, uncertainty collapsed into direction. Attention shifted to individuals connected not directly to Bre'Asia, but to those within her immediate circle. That distinction mattered. A prior dispute involving Malik minors surfaced. Not recent, not actively escalating, but unresolved. Behavioral analysis revealed inconsistencies, communication shifts, unexplained movements, post-incident disengagement. Individually, nothing confirmed intent. Together, they eliminated coincidence. Surveillance confirmation closed the gap. Probability became certainty. The accused was 29 years old, a Texas resident, not visibly unstable, not embedded in Bre'Asia's daily life. That distance delayed detection. Investigators concluded the grievance was personal, unresolved, and deliberate, not spontaneous. Highway anonymity enabled execution. Intent was established through accumulation. tracking behavior, controlled firing, digital alignment, post-incident conduct. The arrest followed evidence consolidation. The accused was charged with capital murder and aggravated assault. Capital murder applied due to Bre'Asia's pregnancy under Texas law. The accused declined to make a statement. The case now moves through the courts. Some details remain sealed, and early assumptions nearly frame the incident as random, which is the final warning of this case, because routine doesn't mean safety, and stability doesn't mean absence of threat. Sometimes violence waits quietly until it doesn't.